All right, let's see. We go. Come on, what's going on here? Trying to get it going here, brothers. There we go. Reaching out 'cause I've been falling. Out for a line, two for a two. Life for a line, truth for the truth. Turning my left cheek, fight the fight. Looking for the light.
Shifting gears on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Heck, I don't know where we are, what time it is. And the great one, what is this going to cost us to have Matt Cather with us tonight? Well, he said that the bill was in the mail, so we'll find out. But
how are you, brother? All is well. What's up, guys? How are you?
You ain't age. You're just never going to age, are you?
That's the goal here. Hopefully not. One of these days, I'm just going to wake up and it's going to be a smack in the face, and everything's just going to be downhill from there.
That's my goal too, is to not age either.
Wow, that ship has sailed.
Well, thank you there, man. I love you too, my brother.
Yeah, but let's jump into it. Your thoughts on what's going on in the craziness of the NFL, Matthew?
Well, first of all, let's let everybody know where we're at tonight. We're in a little bit different spot than normally. We're on Shifting Gears Facebook page as normal, and we're on YouTube at Shifting Gears. But instead of LinkedIn, I added our PressBox Sports. So we're on PressBox Sports.
Back at it.
Yeah, I added PressBox Sports tonight so that everybody, because that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking some NFL. It's got
some people getting some random ass notifications. They'll be like, "Whoa, PressBox."
There you go. And we used to have a show called PressBox Sports with us three, Kurt Chase, Matt Cather, and myself, Big Wheels Bo Carver. And I'm excited to have Matt with us tonight because that is the sports encyclopedia right there, the guru of sports, Matt Cather. So it's nice to have that. Kurt's got a lot of knowledge, and I'm just here for the ride. So thanks for everybody tuning in. And let's, like Kurt said, let's just kind of get into it about what's happened and getting involved. The first question I'd like to ask is, what's y'all's opinion on the new kickoff rule?
I don't mind it.
Okay.
I mean, of course, I prefer the old way of doing it, but I get why they're trying to make the game safe. And do I think we're playing football in the end? It probably should be still the same rules. I'm at least happy because I was having a conversation about it the other day. Just enjoy it while it lasts, because I give it another couple more years and we're not going to have a kickoff anymore longer, which I think is abomination. I mean, that's ridiculous if it does happen, but I don't mind it. And I think there's a lot of chances that people are going to be able to get a lot of returns out of it. I think there's definitely I think there's something they could carve out with there, and I don't mind it. I don't hate it.
When I was looking at the average tenure of an NFL football player, which is very, very, very short, I get it in a way, but I think they're just changing the dynamics so much. I'm curious to see if the next thing is going to be punt returns, because those guys are flying down the field on punt returns as well.
It's actually worse, I think.
It has a less chance of surviving than on an actual kickoff.
Right.
And so it seems like one this way, two dozen another. I guess it's something to get used to when they light up the field and show the zone and, how everything goes. I think it's getting a little complicated, but I know that they want to increase the longevity of the players. And they're saying, that every year it seems to tick down a little bit shorter and shorter, and that's why they're getting the big contracts. So whatever they can do, I think there's 11 players now using the additional headgear in the NFL during the game. Out of all,
one of the Pittsburgh players had that on. I saw.
Yeah,
but I don't mind. I don't mind that. Do you? Not really.
I don't care. I mean, that's really up to them. But I'm just concerned with how much more they're going to control the game versus like what Matt just said, just spotting the ball. They flip the coin and start on 35. I mean, I think that'd just be ludicrous as well.
Well, it reminds me of when I played electric football. Now, Matt, you probably don't know that, but there was a game out there that was a football field, and you had these little. It was.
I played it.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that, to where you'd kick off, and then you'd put it in the guy that you're going to have run the little, cotton ball thing, and then you turn the machine on, and then they all go, and it just, they get paid a lot of money, okay, and I know it's got its danger. But, a lot of people do dangerous things that don't get that kind of money. And I just think when you're looking at somebody, when people are getting paid that kind of money, I don't understand why we want to keep making it to where it's almost flag football. I mean, I don't like it. I just think it looks weird. It doesn't seem very exciting. And then besides that, they've taken away the onside kick. Well, they've not taken it away, but you can't do it unless under 2 minutes. And you got to tell the referee that you're going to be doing it, and that's ridiculous. Because look how many plays were how many times it was such an exciting time when somebody would do an onside kick out of nowhere, catch all these teams off guard. That was fun football.
That rule I don't like. The onside kick rule makes no sense. I don't get the point of that one. You can go back to the Super Bowl with the Saints and the Colts. When they come out of halftime, Sean Payton calls the onside kick, completely fools the Colts.
Beautiful.
And then, you could look at that. That might have been the game-defining moment.
I agree.
It really just changed that whole dynamic of that Super Bowl and really solidified the Saints in that game. So I don't understand that one. Like I said, I'm not a fan of it. But I don't mind it. I don't think I'm concerned that eventually they're going to get rid of it. I hope that's not the case, but
that I agree.
I think there's something that you could. The one thing I do like about it is now it brings maybe a little bit more strategy into it, and you might see some trick plays on that type of things. That where these guys might switch the field or some type, maybe kind of like what happened in the Titans, the Music City Miracle years ago, where they threw it across the field. If you might see some crazy stuff on those, just because these guys ain't getting a running start, you might be able to do some trick plays and open up the field a little bit. I don't know, but I'll give it time. I'll see. I don't know what's going to happen.
Can they do? Can they catch the ball in the air and throw a forward pass like they used to do? Do you know if that rules?
They've never. When have they ever been able to throw a forward pass?
Yeah, no forward pass ever.
Yeah,
I thought you could. If you caught the ball in the air and didn't move, I thought
if it was behind the line of scrimmage, if you throw it.
No, I'm talking about on the kickoff.
No.
You had to always
be behind the ball carrier. He's got to go backwards with the ball.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
For some reason, I always thought that they could do something forward if they didn't run. If they just caught it and then threw it, they could do that. But I don't know.
So, Matt, I'm really surprised you're not wearing your Dak jersey and you got a $250 million sign over your head.
I was gonna do it, but I figured it's just. I know
he's gonna do it.
I had it pulled out, and then I just changed that to last moment. It's kind of funny. I don't know.
Speaking of Dak,
Rangers baseball. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest.
Yeah, who knows about that too?
I couldn't see the top logo. There you go.
Speaking of Dak, we all know that he's gotten $1 billion contract, or at least $250 million. And I wanted to just throw some names out here. Not everybody in the quarterback position, but I just want to get y'all's response. And all you got to do is say the person's name or Dak. Okay. And y'all willing to do that here real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So these names I'm going to call, you can say Dak or that person's name to what you would rather have. So let's just start. Okay. Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, that's easy. Pat Mahomes.
That's easy.
CJ Stroud.
If we're talking current Dak, if we're talking for the future, CJ Stroud.
Yep.
I'm talking whatever right now.
Okay,
Brock Purdy.
Dak.
Oh, Dak.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Joe Burrow.
Dak.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Man.
Yeah. See that he's a whole different dynamic. I'd rather have Josh Allen than Dak.
I think either way, it's a toss-up. I would be happy either way. But
Yeah.
I guess if I had to pick, I give the slight advantage to Josh Allen. But it's close.
Yeah,
Josh
Dak's
Allen
numbers,
makes
his percentages are better, touchdown, blah blah blah. But Josh Allen, I just like the big guys fight when he's got that
Yeah.
football in his hand.
But I think that might hurt him in the end. He hurt his hand the
Sure.
other day doing that stuff. You know, it's only going to catch up to him eventually. He
Yep.
takes some hits, man.
Baker Mayfield.
Dak.
Dak.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa, old Dak for sure.
Jalen Hurts.
Dak. Jalen Hurts is bum.
Dak.
Well, he's not a bum. He's not good enough though.
Trevor Lawrence.
Dak.
Dak.
Jared Goff.
Dak. I mean, there's only like 3 quarterbacks in it.
Okay. So now
I'd probably take, just to make this easier, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, probably. That's about it. That's about it. I think.
My only 2 all across the board.
So Kurt, why do you hate Dak so much when you picked him? You know, basically 9 out of 10.
Maybe
10.
Lamar Jackson.
I mean, common sense. When you just take a look at his numbers and everything, was number 1 in the NFL last year in touchdowns. I think number 2 in yards. His numbers are fantastic going all the way to the playoffs. My whole thing is that when you take a look at the greatest percentage quarterbacks for the Cowboys, and it was not Roger Staubach, it was not Troy.
It was Romo.
Aikman. Percentage-wise, it was Danny White, then Tony Romo, now Dak Prescott, and what do they all have in common? They all choke in the playoffs.
A lot of
All
yards.
3 of them
Yeah.
choke in the playoffs. And that's the only thing is now you'll be paying Dak Prescott $500 million. He's proven himself through game 16, now game 17. But after that, not real good.
Well, he didn't play well last year. I'll say that, but I think the defense was the problem. The defense crapped the bed completely in that game. I blame the defense more than Dak, but all of them were terrible. But nobody really showed up. I will say that, including
They
CD.
mailed in that score and made it better, and just played an old game on the jumbotron.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if that now in his contract before we move on it started new on this signing. So the year that he had left is not really the year left plus 4. It's just now 4 years. Is that how that works?
Finishes out his contract, and then his new contract starts 25-26 season.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what
he
I
got
was
a big
asking.
signing bonus, $83 million, something like that, for the signature on the deal. So,
all right. Well, we'll see how that rolls out for the Cowboy fans out there. So that's kind of what I wanted to bring up, just get some things going. So what do you guys want to bring up?
well, I got to tell you, I'm not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan at all. I will be there October 6th in Pittsburgh for the Cowboys-Steelers game. But I got to tell you what, that T.J. Watts is a freaking beast. Probably one of the most impressive defensive players. Him and the linebacker I had a brain fart, help me, Matt, with the 49ers.
Fred Warner?
Yeah, Fred Warner, Garrett, and T.J. Watts. If it hadn't been for all the penalties that the Steelers had, T.J. Watts would have been Defensive Player of the Month. The way that he was playing Saturday, absolutely incredible.
Or Bosa, whatever one you're talking about.
Yeah, no, it was not Bosa. I mean, Bosa.
You're talking linebacker. You're talking Fred Warner. Then.
Yeah, Fred Warner, T.J. Watts, and Myles Garrett. Those guys are just, this whole last week was incredible watching the defense play. The offenses seemed very, very, very sluggish all the way around through the NFL to a point. But, boy, there was some great, great defense this week in the NFL. It's offense, very, very slow start everywhere. I'm still scratching my head with how some of the games were played, and definitely the only play that stood out to me as the worst play all Sunday. Do you know what that was, Matt?
I'd
The worst
imagine.
play out of all the games on Sunday.
I'm not sure, man. Probably something from the freaking Panthers.
How about the forward shuttle pass from the quarterback of the Titans when they were
Oh,
winning?
yes. Okay, yeah. That
I was like,
was awful.
what
Yeah, that was by
did
far.
you
That you
do?
might look back and that might be the worst play of the season. Completely forgot about that.
Well,
I
I
don't know
didn't
what he
see
was
that.
doing. I don't know what
Oh,
he was
they're
doing.
winning 17-24, and he's getting sacked, and he just taking shot puts it right up in the air. The
Oh.
guy gets the pick six, and then they came back, wound up losing the game. And I was like,
I actually
Buddy.
tweeted that video out, and I said, "It looks like Kentucky's taking losses all over the field this week." Because they lost to my Gamecocks on Saturday. Then Will Levis was the starting quarterback for them 2 years ago. So I was making fun of Kentucky all weekend. We'll just make it that way. Put it that way.
So I thought the defense great week Sunday, and then the kicker, the punters and the kickers. My gosh, I wonder if they're going to be another record broken this year in field goals.
Well, I
These
was
guys,
hoping they would. I was hoping they'd give
kickers
Aubrey
are
a chance to kick that
unbelievable.
71-yarder. I mean, he nailed the 66 right before that.
Yeah, I
and
don't know if that was. I don't know. Is it confirmed that they either messed up the clock or Mike McCarthy messed up the clock? Because McCarthy looked over and made it look like that they never reset the clock and that the referees made the mistake. I can't
Well-
trust him, but it did look like that at first, and I never got any confirmation.
They never. Yeah, right. I'm not sure either. I
And
think
in week one, I would not be shocked if there was a lot of referee blunders that I saw. Week one, no surprise, it's going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't reset the game clock, and that's why they never they got to delay a game.
I really wanted him to try that 71. I believe he could have nailed it.
I mean, the one he kicked, it was good from 71.
No doubt. And I was kind of, I get sometimes why you don't, in case there's a, block or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Cowboys were looking pretty good at that time. So I felt like, give it a shot, man. Let's see it. Let's might as well get the ball rolling for the year and get a 71-yarder in our belt.
So, Matt, who you picking to win the East?
Man, it's tough. That was a big win for Philly on Friday night. I have a hard time going against the Cowboys just because we got the best quarterback in the division. Philly's going to be tough. Saquon looked pretty good.
Oh, he looked great. Got NFC.
They did, but they did lose some players on the offensive line. Still a really good offensive line. Gave up 30, almost 30 points to Green Bay, which is a good team. I'm not dumb. So I'd take the Cowboys by game. It's going to come down to a game, where the neck and neck, where somebody's 11 wins, somebody might be 12 wins or 11 or 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they stacked their team as deep as you could possibly stack a team in the offseason. I mean, if you look at the players and everyone that they've brought to that team, I don't know if they're stacked that deep. Anybody stacked deeper or better than the Eagles, but boy, oh boy, you look what happened after game 11 last year.
I mean, offensively, they got better players. I'm not convinced on defense, though. I think we still probably match up better on defense. And especially if DeMario Overshawn keeps playing like he did in his first game back from injury, maybe we won't have the linebacker problems that we thought we were going to have. The defensive line looks good. That's not surprising when you got Micah. The secondary, solid, so good.
Yeah.
Diggs going his way back, and we're playing without Bland, so Bland will be coming back, and we'll have another guy that'll help out. So, I don't know. It's going to be close. I'd expect it to be close. I don't expect the Giants suck again. The Giants are terrible. So I don't expect them. Yeah,
I mean, see that the fans were lined up when their quarterback was leaving the stadium, and they were brutal. Boy,
they should be. I mean, they just lost to Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, Sam Darnold's played on almost every team in the NFL in this short career of his, and you hang 28 on them, and they managed to score 6 points. I don't know, man. The Giants are going to be bad. I think the Commanders have a chance to be better than them. So I think there's going to be two clear good teams. I don't know what to expect from the Commanders. Not a good start from them. They could fix it. They could be all right. They might, rookie quarterback. They might take some a little bit of time to get kind of going. I like Dan Quinn. I think Dan Quinn will be a fine head coach there. He'll do a good job. I just think they got another year or two before they need to really some more draft picks before they compete for the division. But the
They need to
Giants
change-
suck.
Disappointment
Giants
in
are done.
Sunday was, and I think he needs to retire and get out of the game. I was I really felt sorry for him, and that was Kirk Cousins. I think that he's done. I think his career's over. I was watching him. He had like zero mobility, horrible throws the whole game. But here again, when you look around at all the offenses and their numbers for the opening game, it was really a great defensive day if you're a big NFL fan.
Well, I'm not gonna go in on Kurt yet. I want to see a couple more games. It's his first time being out of Minnesota in years, so I'll give him a bit of the doubt. I will say this: if you're right, then all those people, including myself, who was just bashing the Falcons for drafting a quarterback in the first round of this year's draft, maybe they knew, maybe they saw something early with Kurt, and they're like, maybe we shouldn't have gave him all that money. I don't know. They paid a lot of money for a quarterback that might not be able to play. I won't jump on. And you just talked about T.J. Watt. They went up against T.J. Watt in Pittsburgh. And, so, I mean, that's a tough first game against a really good defense in a division that he probably still could win. Let's be real. I told Bo the other day, like a day ago, the Panthers are going to suck. They're going to be the worst team in the league. They'll probably win 2 games. They are so bad. So that's one team. You got the Saints look good, but that's against the Panthers. I think the Saints we'll find out what the Saints are about against Dallas, but I expect that they'll be brought down to earth real quick. And then you go, Tampa Bay is probably your biggest threat in that division. Atlanta could have, they scored 10 points this week, but you could look back on week 1 to when we're sitting at week 17, and Atlanta could be a 10 or 11 win team and be winning their division. You know what I mean? So I won't get too hard on myself because they got a lot of good players outside of Kirk.
Yeah, they do got a lot of good players. I was watching. I'm like, I was surprised at halftime they just didn't pull him.
That being said, I didn't watch any of that game.
Yeah,
I'll admit
it was ugly football on Kurt's part. They were either too short or over the head, and he was looked very, very, very uncomfortable in the pocket. You know how when you get the quarterback, looking left or right, I didn't know that somebody's head could move that fast in the backfield looking for a receiver. Like, where the hell are you? I got to get rid of the football. And it was just ugly. Even the running backs coming out your screen plays and your dump passes, 90% incompletion. So tough day for Kirk. I loved him when he was in Washington. I always thought he was a great quarterback, but I think his injuries and time has caught up with him.
Well, I was surprised at how little they used Derrick Henry for the Ravens. I mean, they just didn't use him properly, and that I didn't understand that. I thought that was what they got him for, is to really be a monster running, and they just didn't use him that much.
Well, I think that was a big mistake, Matt. Your thoughts that Derrick Henry should be in a Cowboy outfit uniform, not Zeke Elliott?
Well, I think
he'd have been a piece of the puzzle that we so well needed.
I thought he should have been the number one objective in the free agency for the Cowboys coming into the season. I don't know. From what I gathered, it seems like the Cowboys actually did show some interest that Derrick Henry picked the Ravens over them. I don't know if that's true. I'd be surprised to find out that might be the case, but it might have been, honestly. That being said, I didn't give a damn what happened with Derrick Henry. Bringing back Zeke was crazy move to me. I don't understand why we brought back Zeke. I will give him a little bit of credit. He didn't look bad in his first game back. But, man, I hated the move. And I loved Zeke when he was there, but sometimes you just got to move on. I don't know. Maybe he'll make me eat my words, and by the end of the season, Zeke.
He did move on. He changed his number.
Maybe that gives him a bump of – I don't know.
We'll see.
Okay, guys, did both of you watch the game Sunday?
The Cowboy game?
Cowboy game?
Yeah.
And what did you think about Tom Brady?
I thought he did good. I was okay with him. I didn't have a problem with him at all. I thought he was all right.
Yeah, man. I mean, first game he did okay. I thought he was fine. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed it. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good. Yeah. I don't
I
think.
enjoyed him a bunch. Too many critiques on ESPN and all the shows about what he did or
Oh
didn't
man,
do.
these people
makes
think
me
they know
sick.
everything. I didn't
Yeah.
listen to them. I don't listen to those shows anymore. Those guys are full of a bunch of airheads that aren't good at their job. They just somehow make millions. I don't. I won't even get into it. Disney runs ESPN, so that's all I got to say. You know, there's
Yeah.
a bunch of idiots that run that company, full of idiots on the staff. Really what it comes down to is anybody that's criticizing, anybody in the media that's criticizing Tom Brady, they're just pissed off that Tom Brady got out of the NFL and went straight into the booth and got a $200 million contract. And everybody's upset because they think they probably should know more, whatever. You know, they could do a better job and they deserve that type of money. They're just mad that he made millions of dollars playing football. Now he got a huge contract. That being said, I was a big Greg Olsen fan. I thought Greg Olsen did a phenomenal job. I think the only thing I don't like about what happened with the Tom Brady thing is I don't think Greg Olsen deserved to get demoted to the second team on Fox. But, you know, it is Tom Brady. It's a big name. They paid him a lot of money, so I get it. But I just think Greg Olsen's really good at his job. So I guess the good news is if you have the second team on Fox, you're getting another really good team as well, you know?
Yeah, they said the viewership when they polled that a majority of that group was there to hear Tom Brady call the game on exactly whether
I'm sure a lot of people were I'm sure a lot of people were tuning in just to see how he did. I believe that 100%. 100%.
And you know what
it was a really good game matchup and for week one. And then the extra plot of it was like, oh, and Tom Brady's calling the game in his first game. So
does Deshaun Watson ever come back?
I don't think so, right? I don't at this point, I don't think so. I think he's cooked. I don't know what happened. You see plenty of quarterbacks. I think Dak's a great example of a quarterback that got injured, that's came back and he's playing the best football of his career. I know Deshaun got injured, and then on top of that, he had those allegations that got him in a bunch of trouble. Which another one popped up a couple days ago or whatever. Who knows? I mean, I do find it very weird that I'll say this. I'll just find it very weird that she waited all this time when everybody was coming out saying that, and out of nowhere, there's this one random person that just shows up and is like, oh, by the way, I'm not defending Deshaun Watson, but why wouldn't she came out with all the other females as well, you know?
Right. Well, it's like the lady in 1986 with Trump, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
They just pop up and go, hey, here's the deal. But I thought that, I'm telling you, I thought that Watson, Lamar Jackson, and C.J. Stroud were going to be just these elite quarterbacks with Dak and Mahomes, and obviously I'm wrong about that.
He looked like that for his first couple of years. It looked like he was the next big thing, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to know about Deshaun? I want to know what he's doing. What makes me curious is, like, what are you doing in the offseason? Because for me, it looks like you're not doing anything in the offseason. You know, it looks like you are probably just traveling and doing whatever, getting massages. I don't know. You know, like you ain't out throwing to your wide receivers. You ain't out in the offseason treating it as like your own mini camp I don't believe that you're sitting there at night not even every night, but maybe once or twice a week, you putting aside 4 or 5 hours to watch film on random teams, watch film on your team and what you could do better. I don't believe that. I think that's half the problem. I think he's got a bad mentality in regards that for most of his life, his athletic ability has been able to outplay all those other things that he doesn't have to do. You know what I mean? Right. And I think it's caught up to him.
To me, he looked emotionally uninvolved.
Yeah, he doesn't look interested. That's a great way. He doesn't look interested.
That's that's the take I got.
I think you're right.
He just seemed that whatever. You know, if I do good, I do good. If I do bad, no big deal. I'm just going to go sit over here and wait till the next time.
It's looking like that this could be on its way to being considered the and without a doubt, the worst contract situation in the history of the NFL. That's what it's looking like right now.
But I don't think that's the first time Cleveland's ever made that, though. I mean, they
Yeah,
look
'cause
at
you
the
can make up $100 million regardless, no matter what
Yeah.
happens.
I mean, they're the ones that started. They were the ones that pissed off the whole entire NFL by giving the first quarterback in the history of the NFL a guaranteed contract for $200 and some million. Now all
And
the
look-
quarterbacks like Dak Prescott are thinking Cleveland because they
Right.
set a precedent. But if you don't think there was a couple of owners, and it's pretty much been confirmed, if you don't think there was a couple of owners that called up Cleveland a couple days after that and asked you, what the hell are you guys doing?
yeah, you're
If
killing
you don't
us.
think Jerry made a phone call and be like, guys, what are we doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
That conversation definitely was had, whether on the phone or at their annual NFL owners meeting. I'm sure there was many conversations.
No doubt about it.
But no, to answer that in short, no, I think Deshaun Watson's a shell of himself, and he's going to
Yeah.
finish that contract, and he's going to be a backup for a couple football teams moving forward.
If he
I
even
agree.
wants to do that.
Maybe it changes. We'll see. It is week one. I can't get it carried away, but he hasn't been playing good in a long time. He didn't play good last year.
It was amazing how many injuries were sustained in game one and how many players didn't play in game one that were starters already. I mean, there was, a half dozen of them carted off the field, and you look at the injury report already today. I mean, it is unbelievable how many players had some kind of injury that are all now questionable for next Sunday.
I mean, it looks like, as much as say, Jordan Love kind of missed out on a big injury. I mean, it looked like he could have been. I saw the video. It looked like his knee completely popped out. I mean, I know he's out for a little bit, but that looked like a season-ending injury.
And that was like the last play of the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't even. I mean, something
Why
that
did they,
probably shouldn't even been out there at that
that's
point.
what I was going to say. Why would you have that like that? And I was kind of shocked at a lot. I saw a lot of that, over the course of some of the games, that how these players were still out there late.
I mean,
in
it
the
was
game.
a 5-point game, but I mean, it was literally the last play of the game, and they're on like the 10-yard line. I guess you got to keep them out there. I get it. You never know what could happen, right? But
Well, man,
I think
question
they
for the
take
both
that
of you.
back. I think they take it back.
What do you think the score needs to be to start getting some of these starters out of the game? To Bo's point is, when have they played enough? And should the players or the coaches have the say so whether they're in or not?
Bo, what do you think?
Well, I mean, the Cowboys were up 33-10, and I didn't see anybody come out. I mean, the defense were all the same guys were in there. And that was late in the game.
I think it doesn't. I think it doesn't help that we don't have a preseason now. Pretty much. Now that there's no preseason, I think they look at it as we need game reps. It's week one. We need game reps. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I
but
think
it's
that plays a big one. But I mean,
look
if you're
how-
up 14 points with a couple minutes to go, I mean, that should be it, right?
No
I mean,
doubt.
23 points. It's 33-10. I mean, I don't remember the exact time and when that was happened, but I mean, you could have pulled Dak, especially when you got a guy like Cooper Rush behind you who could
Right.
still throw the book. He's not great. I mean, but he can hand the ball off. He can make a couple first down passes for you. I mean,
Well,
sure.
you still had Micah Parsons in there. You had all of them.
That's one I would never. I'd rather have Micah out over Dak.
Well,
I
that's
wouldn't
what I'm
have Mike-
saying.
I wouldn't have
agree.
Mike in. I wouldn't have CD Lamb in. I don't give a damn about the running backs. They can play the whole freaking game
Yeah.
all day, everywhere. I mean,
That's actually the
if we
time. you can
lose
give
one
the
of
ball-
those guys, I mean, we'll
Yeah,
just plug
who
somebody else in there. There ain't nobody,
Good.
I mean,
somebody from the stands. He just
but-
did.
we're just rotating. We didn't apparently in the offseason, we didn't give a damn about the running backs in the first place. You know what? It was typical Cowboy fashion, though. South Carolina running back, so I love him, Rico Dowdle. I love how we start the game with Zeke as starting running back. I'm like, God, I mean, listen, I know we all like Zeke, but Zeke's not the best running back on that team. Rico's if we want to talk, and I'm not saying he's by a mile because I think it's pretty clear we got overall good to average running backs. Nobody
Right.
stands out. Nobody's pretty good. Nobody's awesome. We'll just put it that way.
No.
But
And that's the one.
But
I think
Rico's
that-
the best running back on that football team. There's no doubt
Let me
about
just
that.
say this while you were. I think that's going to bite them in the long run by not getting a Derrick Henry or somebody of that magnitude that really has that ability to really take a game over.
Well, they should have just drafted a. I mean, you could have got a guy in the 3rd round that's probably better than all 3 of them. You know, I mean,
well, at least they'd be 40 years younger.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Rico's not too old. I mean, Deuce, I do want to see more of Deuce, and I do like what I saw of him a little bit in like preseason and stuff. So I think and a lot of people talked about it on that punt return. Hey, Deuce makes a good block on that punt return.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for him and Israel Mukwamu, I don't think Kevontae Turpin gets in the end zone. So, hey, you like to see it from the little guy. I think he's carving out some minutes, and I think he could be a good 3rd down back. And I think from what I've gathered, he's probably definitely the best pass catching running back we have on the team. So that could get you somewhere. I mean, it's hard, man. You know, it's not like you could pay people like Saquon. I don't know what Derrick Henry was asking for. I don't know, man. If you look across the league, there's not a lot of running backs that are really standing out.
Well, I guess the whole
with
point is
incentives and everything, it comes up to about $2 million a year is what Henry's getting.
No, he's getting more than $2 million.
No, his contract was
there's no way.
$10 million for.
Oh, you said.
Yeah, $2 million.
I thought you said 2
plus incentives. Yeah, but no, a year.
No. He signed a 2-year, $16 million.
2-year what?
16 mil. So he's making 8-year mil, including 8 mil signing bonus.
Sorry. Yeah, it was with
$8 million a year.
He can pull up about $10 million a year. Is what his contract.
Yeah, with the $8 million signing. So I mean, I get why but the Ravens probably threw more money than anybody because I doubt the Cowboys threw him that. And with a guy like him who's ran his ass off, he ain't got many years left in him. I mean, he still runs really good, I should say. But you know what I'm saying? Eventually, the wheels are going to fall off. The tread's going to go.
Yeah,
you got to get your money.
Taking a lot off of Dak's feet, and we wouldn't have to worry about Dak doing anything.
I agree.
The Philly push and all the rest of it because you got a beast in the backfield.
Well, and also if you're with this slogan of "we're all in," then get Derrick Henry for a year or 2. I mean, that's what you're. If the Cowboys don't win now, they're done.
Oh, they're not going to win. The season to win was last season. That was it.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with that, but
we just shot ourselves in the foot. You know,
well,
you can't pay Dak. You can't pay Dak that. I don't think we should have paid Dak that money.
Well, I
love Dak, and you know I'm a big. There's just too money to one. There's too much money to one player. It's too much money. More importantly, Dak. I said it to my family, the Cowboys fans. I think he should be ashamed of himself for accepting that money. I think he should. He's made enough money. Why do you need that much money? If you want to win a Super Bowl, don't ask for that money. You can make $40 million a year, and that's totally fine. That's a lot of money.
And that's the point I'm making.
That's doing your team a big favor.
Why wouldn't he go? And he don't need money. Come on, let's just stop right now.
Somebody should have been like.
Why didn't he go to Jerry and say, "Look, I'll take this amount of money if you'll put this money that we're thinking about paying me and get a really strong running back." Because that's all we need. We need somebody.
Well, I think they should have taken the difference, done an incentivized contract. If you look at the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers have always had one of the lowest payrolls, but they have these great incentivized contracts. You look at Tom Brady and you look at Gronk and all these, their contracts were so incentivized. That's where they made their money. There's no incentive now with Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott. He's got $231 guaranteed on the contract. I'm going. And he's already been paid $250 million already, and he has not gotten there. So I'm with Matt. I think that you wait till the end of the season, see how well he fared, and then go, okay, here's the deal. We're going to give you a $40 million contract with incentives, or you're in or you're out.
I totally agree. I think doing that this early in the season, I think that's really going to end up biting him on the butt end.
He's already got a net worth of $70 million.
Yeah. So and
You
and that's
good, dude? Are you good? You know?
yeah. I mean, at what point do you feel like that
Somebody should have called, be like, hey Dirk, I need you to call Dak and tell him how I need you to call Dak and explain to him how you could get paid a bunch of money and then take a pay cut and then win a championship and then be a Dallas Mavericks legend and make money, millions and millions still
Yeah.
years after you're
right?
Oh, and by the way, do you think that Mark Cuban didn't throw him millions of dollars on the side?
Oh,
Of
sure.
course he did. Do you
Sure.
think Jerry Jones wouldn't give you millions of dollars on the side? Whether it's, and I don't condone this, but whether you're funneling it through your own foundation, your charity, which, you don't think Dirk Nowitzki Foundation's got a little extra pay in there, you know what I mean? Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Like, just be like Michael Irvin's always said, hey, if you go win a Super Bowl as a Cowboy, you're paid for life. You're good for life, dude.
Mhm.
What is Michael
Yeah.
Irvin still? Michael Irvin's still making millions just being a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, that's pretty crazy. Well, we talked about the NFC East. I'm picking the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to win it. I think Barkley's going to be the big factor. We're talking about running backs. I think he will be the big factor then taking them to that promised land for the East. The Cowboys will, I believe, I don't know, if I think they'll make the playoffs, but they won't win the division. So who do you think in the West, NFC West?
Niners.
Yeah, that's got to be the pick, isn't it, Kurt?
I mean, I don't know how anybody else wouldn't take the Niners.
Yeah, you'd have to take the Niners all the way. I mean, those guys are they're stacked deep. I like everything about them, and you look at their division with the Cardinals, the Rams, and Seattle. I mean,
hey, the Cardinals played some pretty good football there on Sunday. I'll give them
did.
that. They were damn. I mean, really, they blew that game. If you think about it, they should have probably won that game. I'm
that
curious to
typical
see how that
Cardinal
kind of
style,
plays
though?
out. Dude,
You
I'm
like the
curious to
quarterback
see.
for the Cardinals.
Kyler?
Yeah.
If Kyler's got his head on straight, he could be good.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, I'm not a Kyler Murray fan, but I mean, he wasn't bad. He had a decent game. Maybe Kyler figures it out. He is young. A lot of people forgot, man. A lot of people jumped on Kyler because he's young. He gets hurt early in his career. I get it. There's a lot of talk about how he's kind of self-centered. I don't think he's a leader. Can you build something around him? There's plenty of time for that. So I won't bury Kyler Murray yet, but they don't really have a choice. They gave him a big contract already, so they're gonna have to ride with him for the next 2 or 3 years and go from there.
No doubt.
NFC North. I say the Lions. I think Detroit walks away with it.
I'd say the Lions, based off of Jordan Love getting hurt. That's going to give them a couple weeks extra, probably. That's going to benefit some. Yeah, Lions.
I agree. I think Detroit takes it, and I think it would be a battle between Detroit and Green Bay with Love.
Yeah,
right.
I like
the Bears. Surely ain't going to win it.
Nope.
And the Vikings. I mean, I don't expect Sam Darnold to lead the Vikings to a division. I don't care. I know they embarrassed the Giants, but I think that's just more about the Giants, not the Vikings.
The Vikings Hail Mary pass for 2024. Sam Darnold, starting quarterback.
Who would have thought?
Really?
Sam Darnold. Jesus.
NFC South. That's an interesting division there, isn't it?
I'm sticking with I think the Falcons will bounce back. I'm not ready to I'm not. That's why I said I don't think Cousins is done yet. I think the team's really good.
Fan. I love Baker Mayfield. I love his energy. I like his fight. I like his grit, and he got him a nice contract with Tampa Bay. I'm a Baker Mayfield fan.
I agree.
I'd love to see him.
I agree. I'm picking Bucks.
World win all around that football field with the W's. I'm in.
Yes, definitely. Okay, then let's go to the AFC, see what we got there for that bunch over there. Okay, we got the AFC East, which is the Dolphins, Patriots, Bills, and Jets.
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
That's a toughie one there.
It's difficult.
I would have to flip a coin between Buffalo and Miami. But
Right.
what do they say? Miami hadn't gone to the playoffs in 30
Yeah.
years.
No, they went to the playoffs last year. You mean
I
win
mean,
the division? They win the division? Is that what it's saying?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm picking the Bills.
my problem with the Bills is they've lost a lot of players, man. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, they already relied on Josh Allen enough. Now they got to rely on him even more this season, and it's concerning for me at least. I don't know, man. If I had to pick, why not the Jets?
I'm going to say, and nobody's
Why not
saying
the
the
Jets?
Jets. Well,
I mean, I need to see more of the Jets. They just
Right.
happened to play the freaking 49ers
Right.
in San Francisco the first weekend. You know what I mean?
correct.
I'm not going to base that off of that. Anybody probably loses that game. Any team probably loses that game. You
I
know,
agree.
I
I
want to
think
see.
that's the hardest division to pick a winner.
I want to see more of the Jets. If I
Are you
had
an
to
Aaron
do it
Rodgers
if I
fan?
had to do it this moment, I'd pick Miami. Yeah, I love Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I have
me
nothing.
too.
I have nothing wrong with Aaron Rodgers.
And I don't
Um,
think he was that bad first game out after being out for 2
Yeah, I
years,
need to
did he?
see more of the Jets. I need to see more of the Jets. But if I had to pick today, I would pick Miami. There's just something about the Bills. I just think on the offensive side of the ball, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. And on defense, they're banged up again already a little bit. I don't know, man. I don't know about
We got
that.
the AFC West: Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders. Anybody picking the Raiders?
That would be a no.
No. Even though they're not terrible. I mean, that offense is decent off. I mean, they got a good offensive set there. The problem is they don't
They're
really.
the Raiders.
And can Gardner Minshew get it done? Probably not. Yeah, and the Raiders, right? I mean, I
Beautiful
get,
stadium, though.
yeah, the tickets there are stupid expensive. I mean, just like getting a ticket to that's apparently ridiculous. So that
And
LSU,
nosebleed, $540.
yeah, and even like the college game, the LSU Southern Cal game that was there. Apparently, those tickets were astronomical. I don't. It's kind of crazy what they're getting away with in Las Vegas for those tickets right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to, I guess the safe bet would be the Chargers, right?
I'd say the Chiefs.
Oh, the Chiefs. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's not even a question. Yeah. I totally had a brain fart there and forgot about the Chiefs. Yeah.
Well, the
yeah.
Chargers are good, but I'm going
No,
with the
no,
I was
don't.
gonna say,
Yeah,
tell me something I don't know, Matt.
Chiefs. Yeah.
yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah.
Okay.
FC North: Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Bengals. That's
Tell you
that's a
what
crazy
about
one.
the Bengals looked awful against the Patriots. That was probably the surprising game of the
Yeah.
day. Oof. If I had, man, gosh. Wow.
I'm going to take the Ravens, and the reason being is I
Yeah, I'd
think
agree.
the second half of the season for the Steelers, they got one hell of a schedule. When you look at the power rankings in the NFL, depending on who you read, they're saying that the Steelers, their last 8 games are going to be the toughest in the NFL for them to, make it to some kind of dance in the playoffs. But I like the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. I think they'll get it together pretty. It was a tough game that night for them, but I think they'll get it together and I think they'll get Derek running like they were supposed to do, and just get things a little more balanced out with that offense. And I think it'll come together.
Yeah, I would take the Ravens too. I will say this: I do think the best roster might be the Browns. I just can't rely on Deshaun Watson. That's the problem. But
Yeah.
I think if you almost put it up against, player to player, position, I think, there's an argument to be made that the Browns have the best depth chart in that division. But I think it comes down to quarterback play, and I'm going to take the best quarterback in the division.
Yep.
They didn't look that great the other night, and they were at home. So no matter.
But I
who
thought,
they're-
hey, that being said, all jokes aside, I don't think the Cowboys are going to win this. Win. I think that's going to be a typical Cowboys year where we win the division and lose in the playoffs probably in the first round.
I don't think.
But
we'll
the
win
Cowboys
the
look great for Week 1. They look damn good. I will say
Well, how
that
many
they
times
look
did they look-
really good.
but they look great 1,000 times last year too.
I'm just
I mean,
saying, coming out, it's
No,
week one. Week one's always weird. Week one's so hard to judge. You never know what team's going to show up. You never know what's going to happen. For being week one, Dak looked awesome. For not playing a snap in preseason, for CeeDee Lamb not practicing until pretty much the week of the game. Not practicing with the team because of the contract situation. All that said, I mean, man, they looked really good.
Yep.
Really good.
And I like, I really thought that Mike Zimmer did a really good job on defense.
I agree.
I thought he stepped right in and really, I think the defense guys, I think they're really liking him, and I think they're going to really gel under him. And I mean, the guy's a football mind. I mean, no doubt. And I thought he did an excellent job, and I don't think they missed.
It's hard to, it's hard to argue. I mean, you had 6 sacks, you had 6 tackles for a loss, you had 8 pass deflections, you had 17 quarterback hits. That's a, that I think the proof's in the pudding just based off even if you didn't watch that game and you just looked at the defensive stats. You're like, damn, it looked like they played. But I thought the defense looked great. Looked great.
Yeah, and I also think because they look so great that I think the offense could have scored more points. I mean, Dak only had 179 yards,
and not to mention, it looks like right now, and it was that last year. I think you could say last year was the case. We don't talk about it a lot, but the Cowboys have the best special teams in the NFL.
Well,
with the best, you got the best kicker in the NFL, and 2 years ago, Kevontae Turpin was the kick returner, the Pro Bowl returner. Right. Looks what he did last year. I mean, comes out and has a 60-yard touchdown return. I mean, hey, special. Ask Bill Belichick. Special teams does a lot of difference. A lot of difference.
Yep.
Okay, we got the AFC South: Texans, Titans, Jags, and Colts. I'm going with the Texans.
I like the Colts.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That threw me a curveball.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm not hating on it. It really
Tennessee,
just comes down.
No, thank you.
Tennessee, definitely.
Jacksonville, no, thank you.
You don't think Jacksonville?
I don't. I like what I
thought they
saw.
played well. I thought that's a tough game at Miami in the first game of the season.
Yep.
I think it comes down to the Jaguar. I don't know. I get why you're saying the Colts. Colts look strong.
Yep.
The Texans really kind of went all in the offseason. They brought all these players in, with Mixon, with Diggs. I mean, the offensive, they got some serious talent on the offensive side of the ball. That's for damn sure.
Right.
I would say that if I had to bet today, I would take the Texans.
Yeah.
But I think that's a division that could come down I think that could be exactly what happened last year, where it came down to the final game of the season.
Right.
And, winner take all, and Colts and Texans last year, and easily 2 teams could be in the playoffs. I think that's a division that'll probably have 2 playoff teams,
I agree.
That's a fun division. That's a fun division, especially if Anthony Richardson can stay healthy and play. That deep ball he threw in that game. I mean, what a pass! What a pass
on his flat-footed.
Yeah, I mean,
like threw the ball 70 yards.
I don't know if you saw. I think it was the NFL Films clip, and I know we got to get out of here, but I'll end it with this. I don't know if y'all saw. There was like an NFL Films clip, and it was from that game, and I thought this was pretty neat because Joe Flacco's the backup for them now, just in case y'all. So I mean, not a bad backup if he does get hurt. You saw what he did last year coming back off the couch. Flacco said to Anthony Richardson, he's like, that's probably the longest ball I've ever seen thrown in an NFL game in the air for a touchdown. And that's coming from Flacco, I mean, that says a lot. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Eric McNair was throwing, the ultimate bomb. But I'm going to tell you, when he threw that ball and you look at him with no effort, that thing went to the moon.
And like you said, I mean, the guy literally stumbles, gets up, kind of halfway up, and like you said, almost from his knee, just chucks it 60 yards down the field, hits the man right in stride.
Yeah.
That was the throw of the weekend. I can tell you that.
No doubt
So
about it. 100%.
I'm not fully sold on Anthony Richardson, but that was a hell of a pass. And if he can do that, and we already know what he could do with his legs, I mean, he might have something cooking in Indianapolis.
Yep.
That's a fun division. Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to roll out. And Matt, I can't thank you enough for being a part of our broadcast here on Shifting Gears and bringing back a little down memory lane with our sports show we had. And
Okay, Matt, I'm gonna propose this to you real quick. If I send you an airline ticket and I got a couple Cowboy tickets, you coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll come. It just depends on what it is. I mean, I got a couple games lined up for Gamecocks.
Yep.
I'm going to the Texas A&M game on the first week of November, and then probably the Ole Miss game. I want to go to LSU this weekend.
How would you like to get in the big house with the Longhorns and Michigan this last Saturday?
I would have loved to seen some Michigan tears. I would have loved to seen some Michigan tears in person.
You would.
I mean, and that's I know we
You'd
just
have
talked.
handed out crying towels to everybody leaving the stadium, wouldn't you?
I would have loved it. I mean, that would have made my day.
There'd have been Gamecock towels too, wouldn't they?
I would have just been giving horns up to everybody. I get tired of everybody doing horns down. I know people hate Texas, but that horns down gets on my nerves after a while. It's so old, and all the players do it. And it's just, you know what? I'm glad they were just horns up everywhere, you know? Yep. And I'll be honest with you. I think you guys aren't surprised to hear this. I love the NFL, but I'm 10 times more excited for the college football season this year.
I know you are.
I mean, I've been locked in on college football to the death of me with these first couple weeks. It's been fun. Florida State, the thing that's happened in Tallahassee, them being 0-2, the storylines are just already building. You know, I mean, it's so much fun. You know, and
I watched college football till 11:30 Saturday night.
Dude, I'll right
and
there
I
with
watched
you.
the game
right
and a half of the NFL.
Kurt, I agree 100%. I watched nonstop college football on Saturday, and I watched the last fourth quarter of the first round of games, and then the whole Cowboys game.
Yeah,
and that's not normal.
Cowboy game, and I was gone.
I'll put it this way: I even watched the first quarter of the Monday Night Football game, and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I watched the Manning cast.
Was boring. I didn't get it. It seemed awkward.
It sucked.
It was just bad football.
Well, and honestly, I got to be honest with you. I didn't want to watch it because I hate Philly, and now I really hate Green Bay too because of what happened last year. So I was like, these two teams I really don't want to watch right now. I was like, I'm good. I flipped on college football. I was watching Friday night college football because I was watching Northwestern versus Duke. That's what I was Northwestern versus Duke.
Dude, I flipped and saw Appalachian State, and I still watch some of it.
Yeah. Dude, hey, and side note, I don't know if y'all seen where Northwestern's playing right now. This is cool. You guys, maybe not right now, but in come December, late November, you got to flip it on to a home Northwestern game just for like a quarter. Maybe not even that. But their stadium's getting redid, so they're playing in this smaller stadium right now. It is literally right on one of the Great Lakes. It overlooks the Great Lakes.
Wow.
So the scenery is beautiful, and more importantly, it's going to be insane come weather time. It's going to be freezing. You know what? The snow. If you know anything about the Great Lakes, apparently the snow during like November and December, it's insane. I'm telling you, come here soon. Northwestern games are going to be so fun to watch, and I don't really care about it, but there's going to be, just for craps, there's going to be a team that a big team in the Big Ten that's going to have to go to Northwestern in late November or something, and they're going to be like, "What are we doing here?" and it's going to be great scenes. It's going to be fun to watch. I mean,
no doubt.
I know we didn't talk about it, but man, I am so excited for college football. There's just so many storylines. Colorado sucks, even though I love Deion, but Shedeur Sanders looks like he's got a problem. I don't think he makes it through the season. more importantly, his attitude, it doesn't look good. I don't. He's got a bad look for Shador right now.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about. There's so much to
There
talk
is.
about in college football.
Yep,
So
I agree.
maybe here in a week or two, maybe I could jump back on and maybe we could dedicate a show to college football.
I'm for
in.
that. All right, we'll
Love
plan on
it.
it.
Hey,
Football.
speaking of Northwestern, good old Ohio State has to go there November 16th. Ohio State on the just saying that could be a game you might want to watch, and you're going to be like, it's going to just be brutal conditions.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, can we mail in the score and just take a L?
Yeah. So, and you never know what's going to happen during Big Ten football. That always plays out every year. Not even with the expansion right now. So, yeah, I'm with you, Kurt. Man, I mean, I enjoy Cowboys football, I like the NFL, but Saturdays I'm just college game day. 12 o'clock hits, and I'm from there on until
glued.
Until 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock with those late games on the Pacific Coast. I mean, I'm all about it.
Yeah, see, the
Do you
cool
got
thing
your
is
Yeti
you're
cooler right
single, and I have to talk to my wife and go, just one more game, honey. And at 8 o'clock
have
at
your-
night, just one more game.
Then the
Do you have your Yeti
primetime game starts. Huh?
Yeti cooler right next to you by your chair.
Well, the good news is, me, I live in an apartment. I live in an apartment, so I ain't long walk to the refrigerator.
Well,
All right, guys, I love you, Matt. So good seeing you, brother. I'll give you a call soon. Bo,
Yep.
Big Wheel,
We'll
love you, brother.
see you Saturday. And
See you
we'll
Saturday.
join us on the Automotive
Saturday.
Edge radio show this
Hey.
coming Saturday at 8 a.m.
I love you guys. I'll do it again, and I guess it's
We'll do it.
appropriate to we'll sign off. Never forget, my friends. Never forget the day.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. It's a day to remember forever and ever and ever. And our heart goes out to the ones that lost their loved ones and having to deal with that still in their lives. And bless them and God be with them. And you too, Matt. You too, Kurt. We'll be here Saturday morning on the Automotive Edge radio show. We'll see you then. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Later, guys.